So today I want to talk a little bit about a flaw right now with the PlayStation 5 Pro. And I actually looked up some reviews when it came to this, and I've also compared it with my original PlayStation 5. And it truthfully seems like that there is an issue with the PlayStation 5 Pro not getting the full internet connection that it is supposed to be, because I've actually looked up some reviews of people having the same issues. The issues that I'm having is the fact that when you put your console in rest mode and you're trying to download, some games and whatnot while, like let's say you're going to bed for the night or you're going to work the next morning or later that evening, and you're got your PlayStation 5 Pro in rest mode, and yet you're trying to download some games, but every time you either wake up or you get home from your work and you turn your PS5 Pro on to see where the progress was, it just immediately says that there is an error with all your downloads. So I actually did some internet tests, and I was actually not getting that good speeds with my PS5 Pros, including having the Wi-Fi set to 5G, whereas if you have it set to 2.4G, you're definitely not going to get like all of the speeds that you want. But even with it set to 5G, it's still not giving me the best connection. And honestly, I think at this point, I think it's something to do with Sony that Sony can honestly fix, and something like a firmware update of the PlayStation 5. Because I did the same test on my original PS5, and I was getting like 6 to 7 times the download speeds in the test window. Like I'm saying, like we're getting on the PS5 Pro, we're only getting an average of like anywhere from 20 megabytes up to 100. Whereas my regular PlayStation 5s, well, we were pretty much getting like around 300 something all the way up to 500 some megabytes. And yeah, that's definitely something. So yeah, this is an issue that I looked up the reviews, and I've seen that people have been posting on Google that they are absolutely having the same issue where their downloads are just way too slower. And then I read a couple people that said, well, they tried to let their games or let some games download in the background in their rest mode or whatever, and then they just turned their PS5 Pro on with them saying error, and they did not download. So this is right now the biggest flaw that I have with this console right now. I honestly truthfully thought it was my internet this whole time, but it actually was not my internet. It's something to do with the PlayStation 5 Pro. And it sounds like to me, like I stated, it's something probably like a firmware update fix that Sony could probably honestly do and just update the console, and hopefully it gets better, because that's what it really does sound like to me. It sounds like it's something to do with just a bug and the firmware update for it or something like that. So it doesn't seem like it's the consoles themselves. So at least that's some good evidence I can give you guys right there. But yeah, I've read online that people are having similar issues with their PlayStation 5 Pro, where the downloads compared to their base PS5 is just like 10 times slower, and then half the time their stuff doesn't even download when they put their system in rest mode, or even better yet, even when they leave it on and try to download one game, it just doesn't work. So it's definitely a frustration issue that I will admit, and I'm sorry that you all are also having the same issue just like we are. But as I hate to say it, I think this is something that Sony absolutely needs to address. Now, when it comes to like connectivity, like playing games online, that's not going to affect us or affect you, as I can honestly still play games like Call of Duty online just perfectly on my PS5 Pro. But when it comes to like the download speeds and the stuff just wanting to slow down and then not download whatsoever, I do think while comparing to a original PS5 and seeing the others having the same thing as their original PS5s to the PS5 Pro, it does sound like to me that it's something to do with Sony, and Sony could probably implement a fix with just updating the software for the PlayStation 5 Pro. So this is actually so far the only big flaw that I have with the PS5 Pro. But is it going to make me want to return my PlayStation 5 Pros? Well, that's actually not going to, because it's definitely not the system itself, at least as of yet when comparing to an original PlayStation 5. And because of the fact that it is doing it on both of my PS5 Pros and not just a simply one of them, and because others are having the same thing. So after all that, I do think Sony needs to address this and needs to fix like the issue with a firmware update to where PlayStation 5 Pro gets the full internet bandwidth and the full speed as just like a base PS5, if not even better, rather than be super slow compared to original PS5. So I just wanted to make this video to share with you guys my thoughts on the PlayStation 5 Pro after doing some research and seeing some others having the same issues. It's definitely something that Sony needs to address. It needs to fix in a firmware update for the PlayStation 5, or software update, I should say. So this is Tech and Gaming Reviews. Let us know in the comment section down below if you are somebody that upgraded to the PlayStation 5 Pro, and if you have noticed that your downloads on your PlayStation 5 Pro are 10 times slower from your original PlayStation 5. And let us know if you are also frustrated with it just as well. But without further ado, this is Tech and Gaming Reviews. So rate, comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And we will see you on the next video, guys. So peace out.